everybody. We are here with Fred, and Fred is going to talk to us a little bit about his journey and my coaching program, Success with Rental Properties, and he's going to tell us all about his deal. It's been a year since I've talked to Fred, so it's going to be great to get an update. He has a unique situation with the way that he bought his rental property and all the things that he's done. So I can't wait for you guys to hear about it. Fred, why don't you, I know everything and I know already about you and all that, but everyone that's watching doesn't. So maybe tell everyone, where you live, what you do, and tell us about why you started thinking you wanted to buy rental properties.
Yeah, I'm a contractor. I'm from Southern Utah and do most of our work around the surrounding states, and kind of started in the residential, more moved into commercial, and kind of, I started getting interested in wanting the monthly cash flow and making some money on the side, obviously. And so I started reading about it hard, and then I ran into you on Instagram, and we're able to connect and started an awesome relationship. So that's kind of how I started into wanting to get my own rental and whatnot.
So I'd love for you to tell everyone the whole story of your rental property experience. Is definitely, amazing, and all the things that you've done and all that. So let's start from the very beginning, when you were looking for a rental property. Tell everyone how you came across this one and what type of financing method did you use for this rental property?
So I don't know how much of the little nitty gritties you want to get into, but I basically we'd been looking once I started using your coaching program. We've been looking around the area looking for houses, and there's one like a mile down the road from where I lived, that was for sale. Well, I looked at it and was like, I don't know that I'm interested in spending that much time and effort in it. And so then the owner came into the restaurant one day when I was in there, and she's like, hey, by the way, told the waitresses there that if you know anybody that's trying to buy a house, then this one's for sale. So I ended up meeting her later that day at the house and kind of built just a person-to-person relationship, a good relationship with her, and just talked to her about the property and whatever. And it was kind of an older property, but I ended up just mentioning to her, would you be interested in owner finance? And so she was like, possibly. Why don't you make me an offer? So I ended up making her an offer, and I offered her. She was asking $80,000 for the property. I offered her $70,000. We met at 75, and she owner financed me. It was kind of a unique owner finance because I wanted my payments to be small while I was doing the remodel, because it was a full remodel, full remodel of everything. But I financed it with the 20-year amortization to where my payments were small, and then a balloon at the end of 3 years. And so my payments are like $350 on it for a 3-year.
Oh, that's cool.
No, while I figured out my loan. And so it ended up working fine. I did I think I did 20% down. I think it was like 7,500 or something down. And then we started remodel. At first I was going to do just some things. We ended up doing a full remodel on the place. It's all new. Everything's new sheetrock, new electrical, new plumbing, new everything, new doors, new windows, new roof. Basically just stripped it down to studs, moved some walls around, and it's a nice little house that's fully remodeled now. And it's been a year, but it's coming along, and I just now finished it up. So
that's cool. It looks really good too, Fred. I know I was looking at your pictures a minute ago on my phone on your Instagram to refresh that memory, but it looks really good. So now, you bought it for 75. You took your time remodeling it. Because I know you work out of state and stuff for large chunks of time, so you were gone a lot. So what is it worth now, like today? You bought it for 70 or 75. What's it worth now? In your best estimate.
It's worth about 2.25. It's about 220, 225. is what it's worth now.
And do you
did a little bit of landscaping and concrete on the outside, and it's worth about $225 now.
Did you put in that sidewalk? I saw a sidewalk in the front.
Yep.
You did the sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't
think I remember the sidewalk being there before.
Yeah, no. Well, it did have an old sidewalk, just one, and then some steps up to the house. But I did a back slab on the property for the back porch for a grill and everything, and then I did also gravel on one full side of the house, and then a parking lot on the front side, or a parking slab that has a connecting sidewalk to the house and stuff. So yeah, I did about $6,000 worth of concrete outside just to make it nice. And we did a little bit of landscaping, did some rock beds, some trees and whatnot. So kind of also improved the outside yard a bit too. So yeah,
it looks good. It looks really good. So it's worth $225 now. You were talking to me earlier about a tenant. So you've got a tenant signed. Tell us how much rent they're going to be paying you, and then tell us about your cash out refinance.
Yeah, so the rent, market rent, is actually closer to, like, for that house, because it's a 2-bed 1-bath. The market rent's like $700 to $850 for market rent, but because it was so nice of a place, it's the best material. Everything in there is just perfect. Everything's the best of what I could have bought, basically. And so I was able to get $950 out of them a month to rent it with a 1-year lease. And then I'm also in the middle of doing a cash out refinance. That's still, I haven't confirmed exactly how much I'm going to do a cash out refinance, but right now with what I've talked about, I'm going to refinance about $40,000 out of it from what I owe. So it'll be about, I'll be about 50%, and 55%. So I'll owe about 95 on it, and it's worth like 220, 225. So
that's cool. And you have a nice property with a good tenant. You're going to cash flow, what I wrote down, about $525 a month, and be able to take out, $40,000 is what you're choosing to take out, so that you can invest it in something else.
Yeah, I could take out probably 60 or $80,000 really to get to the 80% loan to value, but like I choose to leave more money in it. It just gives me another money problem, so I'm going to leave that money in there, keep my cash flows up a little better, and then I'm excited to finally get some cash flow from the property.
Cool.
So
that is cool. So a lot of people who buy properties that need extensive rehabs and are new, now you are experienced because you're a contractor, so you have experience, you already have a crew, a team, you know how things work. There's a lot of people out there who are thinking they want to do the BRRRR method, which is basically what you're doing. Buy a property that's low, do a complete rehab on it, and then do a cash out refinance, take your money back out, and go invest it in something else. What advice would you give to people that are thinking they want to do what you just did, but they've never had any experience in any sort of contracting or remodeling? Any advice?
Well, the piece I was going to say until the end that you said, if they don't have any experience, obviously you're going to be hiring it out. But if you do have experience, stick to what you're good at. Even though I know how to do all these different trades, I can do them. But to quit, to go for a weekend when I could be working that in what I usually do with my contracting and stuff, then I'm wasting so much time and energy that I could be putting into what I'm dang good at, and I could hire it out. Now the challenge is finding good contractors to hire. At least twice on 2 different contractors that I hired, which could be a good piece of advice. There were people that I thought I knew real good. They're going to treat me good. Everybody recommend them. I know they do good work, but then I got their invoice and I was like, ouch. So like I had a guy come do just finish plumbing on everything, and this is very expensive for me because I didn't get a contract amount from, I didn't get a proposal from him of any sort. I just figured, you come finish this up, spend 2 days, and then give me an invoice. Well, I come to find out, I didn't, verify how much it's going to cost. His time was going to cost me and all that. And so I ended up paying out quite a bit more than I wanted to pay out. But at the end of the day, I would say, if you think you're going to go learn the trade or whatever, highly consider, unless you're wanting to learn the trade for a hobby, highly consider just hiring the people that are good at it, even if it is a simple thing. And you can learn it. You can go hang sheetrock, but at the end of the day, either you could still keep your accounting job and be making your 30 or 40 bucks an hour, versus come over there and you're spending, twice the time that it would take a professional to come do it at 30 bucks an hour, So just, that's been probably my biggest lesson I've learned is a lot of that's time spent on the house is my personal time, and my personal time's worth far greater than even, let's say, my own employees off most of the time, because my time's spent keeping in front of everybody. So I would just say definitely shop contractors, and make dang sure that you have a verify what they're going to charge you before you have them do the work, even if they're dang good at doing it, because otherwise it leaves that check open-ended. And I'm the guy that ain't going to argue with it because it's good work. They're a friend. I'll pay it and learn my lesson. But definitely get a verified. You want their proposal for whatever work they're going to do, even if it is a couple grand, because it's fairly easy to add another $500 on to an invoice, an open-ended invoice, So probably the biggest two lessons is hire out, even though you're good at it, hire it out. Even though you can do it, you're better off working, doing what you're good at. Second of all, then just make sure you get a proposal before you have them start the work. So
detailed proposal.
Kind of
I always
long-winded,
try. I always try and get the detailed proposals, and it's like pulling teeth. No one wants to separate labor and materials. Nobody wants to tell me how much for each thing. It's like, oh no, whole job only. It's like, no.
I'm a contractor myself, so I know how that is. Yeah, you don't want to, because I'm going to be the first one to say that it's challenging to, especially when you're supplying material, and little things change. Like, nobody wants to see an 8% or a 10% markup on material on their invoice, and yet it costs you that money to go pick it up. It costs you money to do that stuff. So I know how it is to get it itemized out sometimes, but it definitely, it's worth at least getting what their time is worth to them, because like this one guy, I had no idea what his time was worth, and his time probably truly is worth that. He knows how to do a lot of stuff. He can do electrical, he can do plumbing, he can do all this stuff. And I come to find out that his rate's $100 an hour, and I paid him for 2 days to be there. So just verify before you hire somebody, I guess.
I'm with you. Would you say, Fred, now it's been a year since, you've been through my program, so I'm not sure if you really remember, but would you say that my coaching program and the module and the course material and all that helped you, on this journey?
I don't think I would have even bought it if I wouldn't have, even to this day. And, right now I have like $150,000 equity in the house, from obviously doing a lot of work to it, but also a lot of it in appreciation. And I don't regret buying the house at all. I learned a lot, and I wouldn't have taken that action if I didn't have somebody walking there with me to see the things I should keep my eye open for. And also I learned a lot just being creative in how I financed and whatever, because I was having a hard time couldn't have got a bank to finance me. And then you're like, well, you should consider asking them to owner finance, you know, you could try that. So then we went down that road. So I would say regardless, then it's definitely somebody that's done it before, that knows the details of things you should be paying attention to, just like we got done talking about today about things that I should have, because I just went ahead and did a rental agreement, things I should have been thinking about to keep in there. Now, I don't think that I know I got a good tenant in there. I know the tenant, but like things I should have been thinking about. And there's some of those things you just don't pay attention to, especially when it's your first rental. So definitely just take the time to invest it into yourself, invest the money it takes to have somebody there that can show you the step by step that you don't know what it is you don't know, you know, like most of it is that you don't know what you don't know. So you can learn that from somebody, you know, and it's definitely worth paying the extra money to somebody that doesn't know that versus trying to figure it out with trial and error, especially when you're somebody like myself that's don't have a whole lot of time to waste doing stuff, and to have somebody there that can teach you the ups and downs of different methods, different ways of doing it, then it's definitely been worth my time and money, that's for sure.
Thanks, Fred. I appreciate it. It's been really fun watching your journey throughout, you know, the past, I don't know, it's been almost, I think, a year since we've met really last. So I'm glad that you reached out and I got to answer some more questions for you today, and that you were to be able to do this. I really appreciate it. Any final words before I hit, you know, end record? Any final words for anyone, or maybe people that are thinking about, you know, joining the program? Anything you would say to them?
Well, not a whole lot, except for I would just say, sort of what I said before. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. You know, a lot of times I think then, well, especially in this way, then to have somebody there that's like, okay, pull the trigger, you know, go ahead. Then you have that backing of somebody. So definitely put the money out there. Do what it takes to invest in yourself. Have somebody there to be there at each step of the way. And it was phenomenal because maybe sometimes you with other coaching programs, you're paying for a video. You can go in there and not only do you have video to teach about each little thing, but you'll get on there live and you know, talk about the actual property you're looking at, the ups and downs. You'll get on there. Both of us will be on Zillow looking at the exact property. You know, that's awesome. Pull the trigger, spend the money, swipe the card, do whatever it takes to invest in yourself.